Hello children, welcome to online classes. Today I am going to explain some important points from haloalkanes, haloarenes, alcohols, phenols and ethers. Coming to haloalkanes and haloarenes. Haloalkanes are halogen derivatives of alkanes while haloarenes are halogen derivatives of arenes. When one or more hydrogens of alkane are substituted with one or more halogen atoms, we can get haloalkanes. Similarly, from aromatic hydrocarbons, when hydrogens are replaced with halogens, we can get haloarenes. That's why these are called halogen derivatives of alkanes as well as arenes. Coming to the classification, based on the number of halogen atoms introduced into the molecule, they are classified into monohaloalkanes, dihaloalkanes, trihaloalkanes, etc. Finally, we can get perhaloalkanes. Perhaloalkanes, meaning when all hydrogen atoms of alkane molecule are substituted with halogen atoms, we can get this type. Suppose from methane, we can get CCl4. CCl4 is called perchloromethane. Similarly, from C2H6 ethane, if all 6 hydrogens are replaced with bromine, this is perbromoethane. Next, dihaloalkanes, trihaloalkanes, finally perhaloalkanes. Coming to monohaloalkanes, same type of classification we can observe even for monohydric alcohols also. Monohaloalkanes, only one halogen atom is present that may be attached to sp3 carbon in some compounds, that may be attached to sp2 carbon in some other monohaloalkanes. So broadly, monohaloalkanes are divided into three types: alkyl halides, allyl halides, benzyl halides, and even vinyl halides and aryl halides also considered monohaloalkanes, but here halogen atom is attached to sp2 carbon. Coming to alkyl halides, since alkyl group is there, these are called alkyl halides. Halogen atom is attached to sp3 carbon of alkyl group. sp3 carbon present in alkyl group. So based on the degree of carbon which is holding halogen, again these are divided into three types. 1 degree are primary alkyl halides, 2 degree are secondary, 3 degree are tertiary alkyl halides. So 1 degree alkyl halides are represented as RCH2X. RCH2 is nothing but alkyl group. 2 degree alkyl halides, the carbon which is holding halogen is 2 degree carbon and present in alkyl group. Tertiary carbon which is present in alkyl group is tertiary carbon and having halogen atom. So these are three types. Similarly, allyl halides, halogen atom is attached to allylic carbon. sp3 carbon which is directly attached to doubly bonded carbon is called allylic carbon. Doubly bonded carbon is called vinylic carbon, while sp3 carbon which is attached to doubly bonded carbon is called allylic carbon. This allylic carbon having halogen atom. Again, the allylic carbon may be 1 degree, maybe 2 degree, maybe 3 degree. So based on that, allyl halides also divided into three types: 1 degree allyl halides, 2 degree allyl halides, and 3 degree allyl halides. I hope it is clear. Next, benzyl halides. Halogen atom is attached to benzylic carbon. So benzylic carbon is nothing but sp3 carbon which is attached to benzene ring. It is benzylic carbon. The benzylic carbon is having halogen. Again, this benzylic carbon may be 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree. So benzyl halides again divided into three types. Coming to the vinyl halides and aryl halides, in these two types, halogen atom is attached to sp2 carbon. Doubly bonded carbon is called vinyl halide. Halogen is attached to vinylic carbon. They are called vinyl halides. Similarly, if halogen atom is attached to doubly bonded carbon, but that doubly bonded carbon is present in the benzene ring. So if halogen is directly attached to benzene ring, that is called aryl halide. I hope it is clear. Next, dihaloalkanes. Two halogen atoms are present or introduced into one molecule. So based on the position of these two halogen atoms, again these are broadly divided into three types. Vicinal dihalides. In vicinal dihalides, two halogen atoms are attached to the adjacent carbon atoms. Geminal dihalides, also called gem dihalides, two halogen atoms are attached to the same carbon. They are gem dihalides. Similarly, polymethylene dihalides, two halogen atoms are attached to terminal carbons. So terminal carbon will become methylene. Middle carbons automatically methylene groups. So this here there are 5 methylene groups. Pentamethylene dihalide. Its name penta. 5 methylene groups are there. Pentamethylene dihalide. Next, trihalides, trihaloalkanes. 3 halogen atoms are introduced into molecule of alkane. Suppose from methane, when 3 hydrogens are replaced with 3 halogen atoms, we can get trihalomethanes. Trihalomethanes are specially called haloforms. Haloform is a common name. Example, CHCl3 chloroform, CHBr3 bromoform, CHI3 iodoform. So finally, perhaloalkanes, when all hydrogen atoms of one molecule of alkane substituted with halogens, they are called perhaloalkanes. Now coming to the methods of preparation. Haloalkanes are prepared from alkanes by the halogenation. Suppose when C2H6 is reacted with halogen like chlorine in the presence of sunlight, ethyl chloride is obtained. Similarly, if chlorine is supplied, one by one hydrogen atoms are substituted by halogen atoms. So like that, monochloroethane, dichloroethane, trichloroethane, tetrachloroethane, pentachloroethane, and finally perchloroethane we can get. So 6 types of chloroethanes we can get from ethane. But regarding this halogenation, rate of halogenation depends on 2 factors. Rate of halogenation with respect to type of halogen. Fluorination is very high. Explosion also takes place. Next chlorination, next bromination, but iodination is very less. So chlorination and bromination only we can perform by the direct halogenation, not fluorination, not iodination. So fluoroalkanes are prepared by Schwarz reaction. Iodoalkanes are prepared by Finkelstein reaction. Indirect method, that is the halide exchange method. Rate of halogenation with respect to type of hydrogen. 1 degree hydrogen is less reactive towards halogenation, 2 degree hydrogen, then 3 degree hydrogen. So the ratio of reactivity of these 3 hydrogens towards halogen chlorination. So 1:1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree hydrogens. 1:3.8:5. This is towards chlorination. Towards bromination, 1:82:1600. So whenever 3 degree hydrogen is there towards bromination, the product obtained due to the replacement of 3 degree hydrogen only the major product. Next, from alkenes by hydrohalogenation, addition of hydrogen halide. When hydrogen halide is added to alkene, addition takes place in 2 steps. First electrophile is added, next to nucleophile is added. Finally we can get haloalkane. If the alkene is unsymmetrical, CH3 CH double bond CH2 plus let it be HBr. There are two options. H may be, after breaking pi bond, H may be shifted to CH2 carbon, or H may be shifted to CH carbon. So we can get two types of bromopropanes, CH3, CHBr, CH2, sorry, CH3, when hydrogen goes to CH2 carbon. If hydrogen goes to CH carbon, we can get one bromopropane. So according to Markovnikov's rule, we have to apply Markovnikov's rule here. Electropositive part prefers to go to doubly bonded carbon with more number of hydrogens. So in this unsymmetrical alkene, one doubly bonded carbon has only one hydrogen, other doubly bonded carbon has two hydrogens. So H prefers, it gives preference to the carbon, doubly bonded carbon with more number of hydrogens to give major product. So 2-bromopropane is the major product. The reason, when H plus goes to terminal carbon, we can get relatively stable carbocation, 2-degree carbocation. So during the addition of electrophile, we can get intermediate carbocation that may undergo rearrangement to give unexpected product, that only major product. Same propene, addition of HBr only, but if alkyl peroxide is used, in the presence of alkyl peroxide during the addition of HBr to unsymmetrical alkene, again we can get two products, but the major product is exactly opposite to Markovnikov's rule, because here this is free radical addition reaction. So 1-bromopropane is the major product. You remember, in the presence of alkyl peroxide, it leads to free radical addition reaction, whereas in the presence of in the absence of alkyl peroxide during the addition of polar molecule, it is electrophilic addition reaction. This addition, this anti-Markovnikov's rule, or Kharash effect or peroxide effect, applicable during the addition of HBr only, that also in the presence of alkyl peroxide. Next method, preparation from alcohols. Alcohols, when treated with hydrogen halide, H2O is separated, alkyl halide is obtained. So here the reactivity depends on two factors again, with respect to type of hydrogen halide, with respect to type of alcohol. So rate with respect to type of hydrogen halide, HF, HCl, HBr, HI. HI is very high reactive, next to HBr, next HCl, next HF. Same rate with respect to type of alcohol, with respect to type of alcohol. 1 degree alcohol is less reactive, next to 2 degree, next to 3 degree alcohol. That depends on the based on the type of carbocation formed, stability of the carbocation formed. To prepare alkyl chloride, alcohol plus HCl, this won't give alkyl chloride properly. That's why a catalyst, anhydrous zinc chloride, which acts as halogen carrier or catalyst. In the presence of catalyst, OH is substituted by chlorine properly. Then rate will be increased. So the mixture of concentrated HCl and anhydrous zinc chloride is also called Lucas reagent. So based on this, we can identify 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree alcohols. That is Lucas test. Next, again OH of the alcohol is substituted by halogen by reacting with PCl3, PCl5 or SOCl2. When alcohol is reacted with PCl3, we can get alkyl chloride. The byproduct here you have to remember H3PO3. At that time 3 moles of alcohol we have to use. In the reaction with PCl5, again OH is substituted by chlorine, but the byproduct HCl and POCl3. In the reaction with SOCl2 thionyl chloride, sometimes we may use pyridine as a catalyst. OH is substituted by chlorine, the byproducts HCl and SO2. Here byproducts both are vapors, They are escaped when the vessel is opened. So the best method to prepare alkyl chloride from alcohol is the reaction with thionyl chloride. Next method for the preparation of alkyl fluorides and alkyl iodide. We cannot prepare alkyl fluoride by the direct fluorination since it is highly explosive reaction. So these two are prepared by indirect method called halide exchange method, Schwarz reaction as well as Finkelstein reaction. First, alkane is converted into alkyl chloride or alkyl bromide. After the formation of alkyl chloride, it is reacted with fluorinating agent like silver fluoride. Now, chlorine is substituted with fluorine, that is the product, plus AgCl. So this is called halide exchange method. Chlorine is exchanged by fluorine. There is no explosion in this reaction. This is Schwarz reaction. For the preparation of alkyl halide, again halide exchange method we can use. Same procedure. Alkane first converted into alkyl chloride or alkyl bromide by the direct chlorination. From this alkyl chloride or alkyl bromide we can prepare alkyl iodide by reacting with sodium iodide in acetone. Acetone is compulsory here, solvent. So at this time chlorine is substituted by iodine. We can get alkyl iodide plus sodium chloride. Acetone is the catalyst, solvent. This is Finkelstein reaction for the preparation of only alkyl iodide. Preparation of aryl halides. Next one, preparation of aryl halides. Direct halogenation. Suppose when arene is reacted with chlorine in the presence of halogen carrier like ferric chloride, EAS reaction, ESR, electrophilic substitution reaction. Chlorobenzene is obtained and HCl is removed. After the formation of chlorobenzene, again if it is subjected to same reaction halogenation, since chlorine already present, now it acts as directing group. It is orthopara directing group. That's why in the second step we can get orthodichlorobenzene as well as para-dichlorobenzene. If the reaction is continued, we can get hexachlorobenzene finally. Suppose alkyl substituted benzene is taken. When it is reacted with chlorine in the presence of same halogen carrier, since CH3 is orthopara directing group, in some molecules chlorine is attached to ortho position, in some other molecules chlorine is attached to para position. Next, preparation of aryl halide by Sandmeyer method. This is important one. In Sandmeyer method, first aniline is taken. Aniline is the raw material or starting material. When aniline is reacted with the mixture of sodium nitrite and HCl by maintaining the temperature 0 to 5 degrees of centigrade, we can get benzene diazonium chloride, C6H5 N2 plus Cl minus. This is benzene diazonium chloride. After the formation of benzene diazonium chloride, if it is reacted with cuprous chloride and HCl mixture, N2 plus easily replaced by Cl. We can get chlorobenzene. N2 gas is removed. Similarly, if you want to prepare bromobenzene, cuprous bromide is taken. Now N2 plus is substituted by bromine. Bromobenzene is the product. If you want to prepare iodobenzene, this is not Sandmeyer reaction. Simple. When potassium iodide is heated, when it is heated with potassium iodide, N2 plus is substituted by iodobenzene. Coming to physical properties of haloalkanes, haloarenes, boiling point only we have to discuss mainly. Boiling point depends on the intermolecular forces of attraction. If intermolecular forces of attraction are strong, must be heated to high temperature to evaporate that one. That's why boiling point and intermolecular forces of attraction both run parallel to each other. If one is increased, other one also increased. Intermolecular forces are nothing but van der Waals forces. Van der Waals forces depend on the surface area of the molecule. So when surface area of the molecule increases, boiling point also increases. Generally, surface area depends on the molecular weight. So when molecular weight increases, boiling point also increases. Similarly, if you take isomers, structural isomers, as structural isomers of the same molecular formula, same compound, branching increases, surface area decreased, van der Waals forces decreased, and boiling point decreased. So boiling point and branching of structural isomers both are anti-parallel to each other. So few examples: CH3F, CH3Cl, CH3Br. If you take, as the molecular weight increases, boiling point increases. Keep the halogen constant and we change the alkyl group only. CH3Cl, C2H5Cl, C3H7Cl. So here, as the molecular weight increases again, boiling point also increased. When structural isomers, if you take C3H7Cl, it exists in two forms: CH3, CH2, CH2Cl, only one branch. At other one, CH3, CHCl, CH3. So the carbon holding halogen is having two branches. So as the branching increases, molecule gets some compact structure, surface area decreased, van der Waals forces decreased. That's why N-propyl chloride has higher boiling point than isopropyl chloride. If you take C4H9Cl, N-butyl chloride, isobutyl chloride, tertiary butyl chloride. So N-butyl chloride has higher boiling point, then isobutyl chloride, then tertiary butyl chloride. Melting point also same, but symmetry additional factor is there. If symmetry is more, melting point is more. Let us take orthodichlorobenzene and paradichlorobenzene. In paradichlorobenzene, bond moments get cancelled exactly. That's when net dipole moment is 0. The molecule is non-polar molecule, and this is called symmetrical molecule. In orthodichlorobenzene, net dipole moment is greater than 0. That's why polar molecule and unsymmetrical molecule. Boiling point, if you take, orthodichlorobenzene has more boiling point than paradichlorobenzene, because between polar molecules, dipole-dipole interactions, strong interactions are present. So as the polarity of the molecule increases, van der Waals forces also become strong and boiling point increases. If you take melting point, symmetrical molecule, paradichlorobenzene is symmetrical molecule. Symmetry can increase the melting point. So melting point is opposite. Orthodichlorobenzene has lower melting point when compared with para. Coming to the chemical properties of alkyl halides, because of the polarity of the CX bond, alkyl halides exhibit two types of reactions. One is nucleophilic substitution reactions, other one is elimination reaction. Suppose this is the alkyl halide taken. Carbon which is holding halogen gets partial positive charge, while halogen atom getting partial negative charge. Because of the minus I effect of halogen, even hydrogen present on beta carbon also gets partial positive charge. So there are two types of atoms having positive charge. They can welcome nucleophile. So if the attacking reagent, suppose it is Nu minus nucleophile, it prefers to attack at electrophilic carbon. Then X minus is eliminated. This is called substitution reaction. Moreover, nucleophilic substitution reaction. X minus is the leaving group, Nu minus is the attacking nucleophile. This type of reactions are called SN reactions. Mechanism may be SN1 or SN2. Suppose the attacking reagent is a base. Both are attacking agents due to presence of lone pair, but base is one which prefers to abstract H plus. It won't attack at the electrophilic carbon. So if the attacking agent has more basicity, it abstracts H plus from beta carbon, then CH bond pair present at beta carbon is dropped between alpha and beta carbons. Alpha carbon pushes electron pair onto X. So BH is the product, X minus is eliminated, and then between two carbons extra pi bond is created, that is nothing but alkene. So this type of reaction is called elimination reaction. So the attacking reagent, if it is more nucleophilic than basicity, SN reaction takes place. If it has more basicity than nucleophilicity, elimination reaction takes place. H plus is eliminated from beta carbon. That's why this reaction is also called beta elimination. So now mechanism of SN reactions, we will see SN1 mechanism and SN2 mechanism. SN1 mechanism is a multi-step process. Rate determining step and fast step both are present. In the rate determining step, only one particle alkyl halide is involved. That's why it is unimolecular and first order reaction. So first, let us take 3-degree alkyl halide. In the first step, on its own, X minus is removed. This is called self-ionization, slow step. That's why RDS, rate determining step, producing carbocation. After the formation of carbocation in the second step, attacking nucleophile now attacks from any side. So we can get racemic mixture also. This is SN reaction. SN1, nucleophilic substitution unimolecular. So if you write the rate equation, R is equal to K into concentration of 3-degree alkyl halide power 1. The concentration of attacking nucleophile cannot influence the rate. That's why first order reaction as well as unimolecular reaction. It depends on the stability of the carbocation. That's why benzyl halides are more reactive than allyl halides, then 3-degree alkyl halides, 2-degree alkyl halides, 1-degree alkyl halide. That is the order. Coming to SN2 reaction, it is single step process. Via transition state reaction occurs. Suppose this is the alkyl halide, 1-degree alkyl halide. Carbon is chiral here. When it is reacted with nucleophile, the nucleophile like OH minus can attack from back side of the CCl bond to avoid the repulsion that leads to the formation of transition state. Partial negative, partial. This is the transition state. H or D. This is highly unstable. So after the formation of this transition state, CCl bond is broken and NuC bond is formed at a times concerted reaction. Then product with opposite configuration we can get, or comes in the opposite direction. So this is called inversion. In SN2 mechanism, inversion takes place when the carbon present in alkyl halide is chiral carbon. The reactivity depends on the nucleophilicity of the attacking nucleophile, depends on the leaving ability of leaving group, and steric hindrance around the carbon holding halogen. So just you go through the differences between SN1 and SN2. Conditions you have to learn. Conditions for SN1, conditions for SN2. Coming to the examples for alkyl halides. Here, attacking nucleophile attacks at alkyl group and X minus is removed. So when aqueous KOH or NaOH is added, OH minus is attacking nucleophile and the product is alcohol. In moist silver monoxide also, silver hydroxide is formed. Again, OH minus is the attacking nucleophile. With KCN, RCN is the major product, whereas with AgCN, RNC is the major product. So when alkyl cyanide is subjected to hydrolysis, we can get carboxylic acids. When alkyl cyanide is subjected to reduction in the presence of palladium, we can get RCH2NH2. In the examinations, they will ask this type of products. When RNC is subjected to reduction, we can get RNHCH3 secondary amine. Similarly, with KNO2, KONO, its structure, potassium nitrite, or ONO is the product. Alkyl nitrite is the major product. Whereas with silver nitrite, nitroalkane is the major product. When alkyl halide is reacted with lithium aluminum hydride, H minus is the attacking nucleophile. When it attacks at R plus, we can get alkane. This is also called reduction. Next, with sodium alkoxide, Na plus, RO minus. Alkoxide is attacking nucleophile. It takes alkyl groups, so forming ether. This reaction is well known for the preparation of ethers. This is also called Williamson's ether synthesis. Next, when it is reacted with Grignard reagent, in Grignard reagent R acts as a nucleophile or base. When R minus attacks at electrophilic carbon of alkyl group, we can get RR, nothing but alkane. Next one, reaction between alkyl halide and ammonia is nucleophilic substitution reaction. Here NH2 is the attacking nucleophile, X minus is the leaving nucleophile. The X minus later it takes H plus from NH2, forming HX. So RNH2 plus HX. So here RNH2, since N is attached to alkyl group called amine, since it is attached to only one carbon called 1 degree amine. If the attacking nucleophile is 2 degree amine, we can get, if the attacking agent is 1 degree amine, we can get 2 degree amine as the product. If the attacking agent is 2 degree amine, we can get 3 degree amine as the product. So this reaction is called alkylation of ammonia. Alkyl group is introduced into the molecule of ammonia. That's why this is alkylation. Based on the degree of alkylation, the formed amines are divided into 3 types. 1 degree amine, 2 degree amine and 3 degree amine. Next, other reactions of alkyl halides. Reaction with sodium metal. Reaction with sodium, 3 types. Wurtz reaction. When alkyl halide is reacted with sodium metal in the presence of dry ether, this is well known reaction, 2 alkyl groups get combined each other forming alkane. That is Wurtz reaction. Fittig's reaction. Instead of alkyl halide, you take aryl halide. When aryl halides are reacted with sodium metal in the presence of dry ether, 2 aryl groups, 2 phenyl groups get combined each other forming diphenyl. This reaction is called Fittig's reaction. Next one, Wurtz-Fittig reaction. This is like mixture. Alkyl halide and aryl halide both are taken. Mixture of alkyl halide and aryl halide when reacted with sodium in the presence of ether. So there is a chance for the combination of alkyl group and aryl group. We can get alkyl arene, alkyl benzene. This type of reaction is known as Wurtz-Fittig reaction. Next, reaction with magnesium. When alkyl halide dissolved in ether and reacted with magnesium powder, magnesium is introduced into the molecule. introduced between R and X, we can get RMgX, Grignard's reagent. So Grignard's reagents are very useful compounds. We can prepare various types of compounds by using Grignard's reagents. Example, the alkyl group present in Grignard reagent acts as potential nucleophile or base. So whenever it is added to the compound containing acidic hydrogen, the hydrogen which is attached to highly electronegative atom like oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine or triply bonded carbon or minus acts as a base and takes H plus forming alkane. So by reacting with water, ammonia, carboxylic acids and alcohols, even terminal alkynes, Grignard reagent can produce corresponding alkanes. Similarly, with carbonyl compounds, it undergoes nucleophilic substitution to give alcohols. When it is reacted with carbonyl compound, we can get salt-like substance, additional product, salt-like adduct. After the formation of adduct subjected to hydrolysis, we can get alcohol. If the carbonyl compound is formaldehyde, we can get only 1 degree alcohol. If the carbonyl compound is aldehyde, we can get 2 degree alcohol. If the carbonyl compound is ketone, we can get 3 degree alcohol. Suppose this is ketone, 2 steps, reaction with Grignard reagent followed by hydrolysis. Alkyl group goes to carbon, H goes to oxygen, we can get 3 degree alcohol. So like this, by reacting with carbonyl compounds, not only carbonyl compounds, even by reacting with esters, acid halides, we can prepare alcohols by using Grignard's reagents. So Grignard's reagents are very useful compounds. Coming to elimination reactions, the reaction in which two species are eliminated from one molecule of the substrate to get unsaturated compound, unstable compound. Such type of reaction is called elimination reaction. These elimination reactions are 3 types. Halogen is eliminated from alpha carbon only, but hydrogen in the form of H plus may be eliminated either from alpha carbon, beta carbon or from gamma carbon. If hydrogen is eliminated from beta carbon, we can get alkenes. That is called beta elimination. Let us take this compound. When it is heated with alcoholic KOH, example, methoxide in the presence of methyl alcohol, or butoxide, tertiary butoxide in the presence of tertiary butyl alcohol. The base removes H plus from beta carbon. Alpha carbon pushes electron pair onto X. So between alpha and beta carbons, we can get double bond. Alkene is the product. X minus is eliminated. H plus is taken by base. If the base is B minus, if it is represented like B minus abstracts H plus forming BH. This reaction is elimination reaction, leads to the formation of unsaturated or unstable alkane. This is happening at high temperature. Now, based on the type of hydrogens, if 2 hydrogens are there, 2 types of alkenes we can get: CH3, CH2, CHCl, CH3. Let us take 2-chlorobutane. When it is heated with methoxide in the presence of methyl alcohol, H plus is eliminated from CH2 beta carbon. There are 2 types of beta carbons. Left side CH2 carbon is beta carbon. Right side CH3 carbon is also beta carbon. Halogen definitely eliminated from alpha carbon only. If hydrogen is eliminated from beta carbon, we can get 2-butene. If hydrogen is eliminated from right side beta carbon, we can get 1 butane. When two types of alkenes are produced, one is major product. So according to Sedgwick's rule, during the elimination, base prefers to take H plus from beta carbon with less number of hydrogens. You remember? Base prefers to take H plus from beta carbon with less number of hydrogens. So left side beta carbon has 2 hydrogens while right side beta carbon has 3 hydrogens. That's why it prefers to abstract hydrogen from left side beta carbon since it has less number of hydrogens to give major products. This is Sedgwick's rule. So alkene with more number of substituents, alkene with more number of alkyl substituents around CC double bond is major product because that is stable. Alkene with less number of substituents is unstable. So sometimes along with Sedgwick's rule, Sedgwick's product, Hoffman product also formed as major product. So Sedgwick's rule, when alkene with more number of alkyl substituents is formed as major product, that is Sedgwick's rule. In some cases, only some exceptional cases, like when bulky base tertiary butoxide is used, when gamma carbon is neocarbon, during the thermal elimination reactions, alkene with less number of alkyl substituents is only formed as major product, that is called Hoffman's rule. So with one example we will try to understand. Let us take 2-chlorobutane. When it is subjected to elimination with smaller base methoxide present in methyl alcohol, methoxide in methyl alcohol. At this time we can get two products, 2-butene and 1-butene. So 2-butene is the major product. So 2-butene is Sedgwick's product, 1-butene is Hoffman's product. If the condition is changed, suppose it has poor leaving group. When compared with chlorine, F is poor leaving group. In the presence of poor leaving group, if bulky base like tertiary butoxide, branched base, when branched base is used, again we can get two products, 2-butene as well as 1-butene. But surprisingly 1-butene is the major product. This is called Hoffman's rule. So Hoffman's product is formed as major product under specific conditions. One, when poor leaving group like F minus NH2 minus is there, when branched base like tertiary butoxide is used, when gamma carbon has neocarbon, and in thermal elimination, Cope elimination and Hoffman elimination reactions. Just by heating only elimination reaction occurs. Such type of thermal elimination reactions also lead to the formation of Hoffman product as major product. Next, reactions of aryl halides. They undergo. Aryl halides generally do not undergo SN reactions as easily as alkyl halides. I think this is very, very important. I think you have studied the reasons. Main reason because of the partial double bond character due to conjugation between lone pair of halogen and pi bond. When compared with alkyl halides, aryl halides do not undergo SN reactions. But we can make aryl halides also to undergo SN reactions by creating drastic conditions. Drastic conditions means high temperature and pressure, and then by keeping electron withdrawing group like NO2 at ortho and para positions, we can make the aryl halides also to undergo SN reactions. Next, EAS reactions, electrophilic substitution reactions, ESR, otherwise electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions given by aryl halides. So regarding chlorine present on benzene ring, it shows plus R effect as well as minus I effect. Because of the conjugation between lone pair of the chlorine and pi bond, it shows plus R effect. Lone pair is dropped, pi electron pair is shifted over benzene. and it is increasing the electron density at ortho and para positions. So this is plus R effect. At the same time, since chlorine is higher electronegative than carbon of the benzene ring, it can pull the sigma bond pair towards itself. This is known as minus I effect. So when both the effects are working in opposite direction, generally resonance effect is stronger than inductive effect, but only for halogens resonance effect is weaker than inductive effect. That's why chlorine is ring deactivating group, electron withdrawing group. It acts as mild electron withdrawing group and ring deactivating group. But when electrophile approaches the chlorobenzene, chlorine can suggest ortho and para positions. The directive nature of the key group depends on the resonance effect. Since halogen is plus R group, it can suggest the incoming electrophile to attack at ortho and para positions. That's why halogen attached to benzene ring is ortho para directing group. Next, last topic in haloalkanes and haloarenes, polyhalogen compounds. Compounds which are having more than one halogen atoms in one molecule. Polymethylene chloride, chloroform, iodoform, carbon tetrachloride, chlorofluorocarbon CFCs, and DDT. So for each one you have to remember uses where we can use such type of polyhalogen compounds, especially solvents and propellants in aerosols, and what are the adverse effects after the usage of those polyhalogen compounds. Just you go through them. Coming to the alcohols, phenols, ethers. Alcohols are hydroxy derivatives of alkane. This is alkane. When hydrogen is substituted OH with OH, we can get alcohol. So hydroxy derivative. Coming to ethers, similarly, when hydrogen is replaced with alkoxy group, so alkoxy derivatives of alkanes called ethers. Classification based on the number of OH groups, alcohols are divided into monohydric alcohols, dihydric alcohols, trihydric alcohols, etc. The classification of alcohols almost similar to the classification of haloalkanes. I think no need to explain once again about the classification of alcohols. This is similar to classification of haloalkanes. In place of X, if you take OH, that becomes alcohol. So monohaloalkanes and monohydric alcohols classification almost same. Next, monohydric alcohols, no need to explain once again. So you can go through the classification of monohaloalkanes. In brief, this is 1 degree alcohol, 2 degree alcohol, 3 degree alcohol. Similarly, if OH is present on allylic carbon, this is allylic carbon, 1 degree allylic alcohol, 2 degree allylic alcohol, 3 degree allylic alcohols are possible. Benzyl alcohol, if OH is attached to benzylic carbon, they are benzyl alcohols. So benzylic carbon may be 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree. So directly, if OH is attached to doubly bonded carbon, vinylic carbon, that is called vinyl alcohol. Of course, vinyl alcohol is unstable. It undergoes tautomerization to give carbonyl compound. Next, if OH is directly attached to benzene ring, they are called phenols. So nomenclature also no need to concentrate. Alk plus ane, ene or ine followed by OL. If more than 2 carbons are there, you keep the locant also. Methods of preparation of alcohols in brief. From alkyl halide, just now we have discussed when alkyl halide is reacted with aqueous NaOH or aqueous KOH or moist silver oxide, we can get alcohol. That is one method. Similarly, when alkyl halide, okay. Next, from alkenes, this is important one. From alkenes, when water is added to alkene, pi bond is broken, H goes to one carbon, OH goes to another carbon, producing alcohol. So the process of addition of H2O to the alkene is called hydration. The hydration, H2O is added by three methods. First one, acid catalyzed hydration. When propene, unsymmetrical alkene propene is taken and water is added in the presence of a catalyst like acid catalyzed hydration, H goes to CH2 carbon or CH carbon after breaking pi bond. Again, we can get two types of alcohols, propane 1 mole, propane 2 mole. So in between these two, one is major product. Propane 2 mole is the major product. According to Markovnikov's rule, electropositive part prefers to go to the doubly bonded carbon of more number of hydrogens to produce relatively stable carbocation. So in this mechanism, one which is formed from stable carbocation is the major product. Since carbocation is formed as an intermediate, there is a chance for the rearrangement and unexpected alcohol is formed, that only the major product. Let us take one example. This is isopentene. When water is added, what happens? First, relatively stable carbocation is formed. I hope you are able to understand bond line models. 2-degree carbocation. This is relatively stable carbocation. This is 2-degree carbocation. Since 2-degree carbocation is attached to higher degree carbon, then there is a chance for the rearrangement. From higher degree carbon, H minus is shifted to 2-degree carbocation. This is called H minus shift. So carbocation which is formed undergoing rearrangement to produce relatively stable carbocation, 3-degree carbocation. So rearrangement takes place due to H minus shift or CH3 minus shift or phenyl shift, or even by ring expansion also rearrangement takes place. The purpose of rearrangement to become relatively stable carbocation. After the formation of relatively stable carbocation, in this next step, nucleophile attacks in the form of H2O. So when nucleophile is attached, we can get alcohol. So here tertiary pentyl alcohol is formed. Tertiary pentyl alcohol is unexpected alcohol. Moreover, that only major product. So other alcohols we can expect. Once OH goes to terminal carbon, once OH goes to second carbon. So 1, 2, 3 products we can get. Among those 3, third one is the unexpected product, and that only major product. So the rearrangement of carbocation is possible when alkene is subjected to acid catalyzed hydration. I hope it is clear. To get practice, you take some more examples. Next one, oxymercuration, demercuration. Here also H and OH both are added indirectly. Let us take unsymmetrical alkene directly, not symmetrical. When propene is taken, when it is reacted with mercuric acetate, this is mercuric acetate and water mixture. The second step, it is subjected to reduction by sodium borohydride in alkaline medium. So when propene is passed into this aqueous solution of mercuric acetate, what happens indirectly? I am not giving total mechanism. OH comes from water. H indirectly, not directly, H comes from sodium borohydride. Addition occurs according to Markovnikov's rule, means H part prefers to go to carbon with more number of hydrogens. OH which is coming from water prefers to go to carbon with less number of hydrogens. So we can get the product CH3, CHOH, CH3. Isopropyl alcohol is the major product. In HBO method, hydroboration oxidation, addition of H and OH occurs opposite to Markovnikov's rule, anti-Markovnikov's rule. So here again you take the unsymmetrical alkene, propene. When it is subjected to hydroboration by reacting with borane or diborane in the presence of THF, and in the second step it is subjected to oxidation by hydrogen peroxide in the presence of alkaline medium. So indirectly H and OH both are attached. H is provided by BH3, OH is provided by hydrogen peroxide. So H goes to carbon with less number of hydrogens opposite to Markovnikov's rule after breaking CC pi bond. OH, which is coming from hydrogen peroxide, prefers to go to carbon with more number of hydrogens. So CH3, CH2, CH2OH. So here addition of H and OH opposite to Markovnikov's rule, and both H and OH both are attached from same side. This is an example for syn addition. I hope it is clear. Addition of H and OH to the alkene to get alcohol, three types. Acid catalyzed hydration, it follows Markovnikov's rule, intermediate carbocation is formed, and rearrangement chances are there to get unexpected alcohol as a major product. Next, oxymercuration, demercuration. Here H and OH both are attached to the CC double bond. According to Markovnikov's rule, there is no carbocation formed, so expected products only formed. In HBO method, indirectly H and OH are attached to the CC double bond opposite to Markovnikov's rule. So this is an example for syn addition. Next method, for the preparation of alcohols from carbonyl compounds. From carbonyl compounds, two methods are there: by reduction by using certain reducing agents. Suppose aldehyde is taken. When aldehyde is subjected to reduction by sodium borohydride or lithium aluminum hydride, they provide H minus, attacks at electrophilic carbon, carbonyl carbon, followed by hydration or hydrolysis. So H comes from water, one H comes from NaBH4 or LiBH4. Whatever the hydrogen coming from the reducing agent goes to carbonyl carbon, H coming from water goes to oxygen. So after the breaking of pi bond, O takes one hydrogen, C takes one hydrogen, we can get 1 degree alcohols. If it is ketone by the same reducing agents, lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, we can get 2 degree alcohol. This is 2 degree alcohol. So by this method we cannot prepare 3 degree alcohol. That is a disadvantage. Next one, aldehydes are ketones. By reacting with Grignard's reagent followed by hydrolysis also, we can prepare alcohols. First Grignard reagent is added, it undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction followed by hydrolysis. So R attacks at carbonyl carbon, H attacks at O, forming 2 degree alcohol. So from aldehyde we can get 2 degree alcohol. From ketone we can get 3 degree alcohol. From formaldehyde we can get 1 degree alcohol. Next, even from acids and esters also we can prepare alcohols by using strong reducing agents like LiAlH4. Suppose when RCOOH is subjected to reduction by lithium aluminum hydride LaH, so remember the carbon which is present in COOH will become CH2OH. If it is ester RCOOR prime, when LiAlH4 is used, CO bond is broken, RCO will become one alcohol RCH2OH, and R prime O also will become another alcohol. So we can get the mixture of two alcohols. Preparation of phenols from chlorobenzene. This is also called Dow's process. When chlorobenzene is subjected to drastic conditions and heated with sodium hydroxide aqueous, very high temperature around 630 Kelvin and 300 atmosphere pressure is used, Cl is replaced with OH, and that OH undergoes neutralization with sodium hydroxide, forming sodium phenoxide. After the formation of sodium phenoxide salt, you separate that one and subject it to acidification. So finally we can get phenol. This entire process is called Dow's process. So under drastic conditions only we can substitute chlorine with OH. Next, preparation of phenol from cumene. Cumene is nothing but isopropyl benzene. This is cumene, isopropyl benzene. When it is subjected to oxidation by air, oxygen present in the air, CH bond is broken and two oxygens are attached. Two oxygens are attached between C and H, inserted between C and H, forming hydroperoxide. This is called cumene hydroperoxide. When cumene hydroperoxide is subjected to hydrolysis, OH attacks at carbon holding 3° carbon. Then in place of carbon, OH is attached, phenol is obtained, and the byproduct is CH3CO, CH3 nothing but acetone. This is important method. Next, from diazonium salts also we can prepare phenol. When benzene diazonium chloride is reacted with warm water, slightly heated, not even vapor, at that time N2 plus easily substituted by OH minus. Phenol is obtained and N2 gas is released. Coming to the physical properties, we know solubility of alcohols is more. Alcohols are more soluble in water because alcohol can form intermolecular hydrogen bond with water molecules. Like this, alcohols are more soluble. So solubility of alcohols. Alcohol is having two ends. This is OH is hydrophilic end, alkyl group is hydrophobic end. So if you take CH3OH, C2H5OH and C3H7OH, all are having hydrophilic end, but the size of hydrophobic end increased. That's why solubility, I am telling solubility decreased with the increase in the size of alkyl group. At the same time, boiling point also, alcohols have more boiling point when compared with the ethers, alkanes of same molecular mass, because the formation of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, alcohols come closer to each other. That is called molecular association. Because of the molecular association, alcohols have more boiling point when compared with ethers, alkanes of same molecular mass. Next, reactions of alcohols and phenols. Reactions of alcohols due to cleavage of OH bond, where it acts as nucleophile. Because of sometimes due to cleavage of CO bond also, they undergo reaction where it acts as electrophile. So reactions due to cleavage of OH bond, two types, acidic nature of alcohols and esterification. So acidic nature, alcohol, since it loses H plus and becomes alkoxide, H plus donor is alcohol. So in this, RO minus is alkoxide is conjugate base, alcohol is conjugate acid. The Ka or Kc value increases with the stability of RO minus. So one which loses H plus easily is stronger acid. ROH, acidic strength of the alcohol, depends how easily it is losing H plus. If the alkoxide formed is stable, equilibrium automatically moves towards right side to give more number of H plus ions and increases acidic strength. So relative acidic strength, when two acids are given, two alcohols are given, how to find out which is stronger acid? Many methods are there. Relative strength of relative acidic strength, I can give few methods, increases with stability of conjugate base. Stability of conjugate base. So generally stability of any base or any ion is inversely proportional to the charge of ion. That is universal factor. Stability of ion is inversely proportional to magnitude of charge. So acidic strength is directly proportional to stability of conjugate base. So electron withdrawing group can increase the stability of conjugate base, can increase the acidic strength. So electron withdrawing group and acidic strength both are parallel to each other. Electron donating group are anti-parallel to each other. Acidic strength increases with Ka value, decreases with pK value. These are the experimentally determined values. So let us take water, alcohol and phenol carboxylic acids. Among these three, water is more acidic than alcohol. Phenol is more acidic even than water. Carboxylic acid is more acidic even than phenol. So order of acidic strength among these four: aliphatic alcohol, next water, next phenol, after that carboxylic acid. This is the order, because RO minus and HO minus. RO minus is less stable because of plus I group. Plus I group nothing but electron donating group. So OH minus is more stable than RO minus. Phenoxide ion still more stable than HO minus, because dispersal of negative charge of the oxygen due to conjugation. Because of the conjugation, stability of phenoxide ion is more. Carboxylate ion still more stable when compared with the phenoxide, because carboxylate ion has two equivalent resonance structures. So one with equivalent resonance structures is more stable with irrespective of number of resonance structures. So this is the order. If you take different alcohols, 1 degree of CH3OH, C2H5OH, CH3CH3OH, and 3 degree alcohol. So here as the plus I groups increases, acidic strength decreases. So 1 degree to 2 degree, 2 degree to 3 degree, acidic strength of alcohols decreased. Next, if you take phenols, phenol and orthonitrophenol you take. So NO2 group, since it is electron withdrawing group, it increases acidic strength. Phenol plus phenol and cresol if you take. Cresol is electron donating group. So cresol is less acidic than phenol. Next one, reactions due to cleavage of CO bond. So another one I forgot, reactions examples I forgot. ROH, when it is reacted with sodium metal, we can get RONA along with the release of hydrogen gas. But ROH cannot react with sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, but phenol, since its acidic strength is more, it can react with sodium as well as sodium hydroxide, forming sodium phenoxide plus H2O. Next, alcohols, because of the cleavage of OH bond, they undergo esterification reactions with acid. When carboxylic acid is reacted with alcohol in the presence of acid catalyst, OH bond of the alcohol is broken, CO bond of the acid is broken, and ester is obtained along with the elimination of H2O. That is called esterification. Next, reactions of alcohols due to cleavage of CO bond. When alcohol is reacted with hydrogen halide, phosphorus trichloride, phosphorus pentachloride, thionyl chloride, CO bond is broken even during the dehydration. Even during the dehydration also CO bond is broken. CrOH plus HX, CO bond is broken. Even ROH plus PCl3, PCl5 or SOCl2. So what will be happen? CO bond is broken and alkyl chloride is obtained. During the dehydration also, see, OH from alpha carbon, H from beta carbon both are removed when it is subjected to dehydration by certain dehydrating agent like concentrated sulfuric acid at 170 degrees centigrade. H from beta carbon, OH from alpha carbon removed. So at alpha carbon CO bond is broken to give alkene. So these are all examples for the reactions due to cleavage of CO bond. Next, Lucas test. When alcohol is treated with Lucas reagent. Lucas reagent is nothing but concentrated HCl and anhydrous ZnCl2. OH is substituted by chlorine. We can get alkyl chloride. So as soon as alkyl chloride is obtained, it will be immiscible with water. Alkyl chloride is very less soluble in water, but whereas alcohol is highly soluble. So alcohol is clear solution, it seems like water only. As soon as it is converted to alkyl chloride, we can get some turbidity, immiscible liquid. So based on the rate, we know 3-degree alcohols are more reactive due to the formation of stable 3-degree carbocation. So if turbidity is formed immediately, immediate turbidity indicates 3-degree alcohol. Turbidity after 5 minutes indicates 2-degree alcohol. No turbidity under normal conditions of room temperature. No turbidity indicates 1-degree alcohol. So based on the time taken for the formation of turbidity, formation of alkyl chloride, we can recognize which is 3-degree alcohol, which is 2-degree, which is 1-degree alcohol. So dehydration of alcohols. So when alcohol is subjected to dehydration by concentrated H2SO4 at 170 degrees centigrade, H from beta carbon, OH from alpha carbon removed, forming alkene. If this is also an example for beta elimination, and also carbocation is formed as an intermediate. So rearrangement takes place and unexpected alkene may be formed as major product. If two types of beta hydrogens are there, let us take 2-butanol. When it is subjected to dehydration, we can get 1-butene as well as 2-butene. 2-butene is the major product. Oxidation of alcohols. Alcohol undergoes oxidation by certain oxidizing agents. Suppose let us take 1-degree alcohol. When it is subjected to oxidation by certain oxidizing agent, first aldehyde is formed, removal of 2 hydrogens. If it is strong oxidizing agent like potassium permanganate acidified, potassium dichromate acidified, the aldehyde formed also undergoes further oxidation, forming carboxylic acid. So remember, if strong oxidizing agent is used, carboxylic acid is the final product, oxidation product. If weak mild oxidizing agents like PCC or PDC used, aldehyde is the final product. If it is 2-degree alcohol, during the oxidation, we can get ketone. ketone being stable, it won't undergo further oxidation. So you can use even strong or weak oxidizing agent for the oxidation of 2-degree alcohols. So 3-degree alcohols do not undergo oxidation under normal conditions. Next to dehydrogenation, removal of H2. For that purpose, alcohol is heated with copper. So when primary alcohol is heated with copper at 300 degrees of centigrade temperature, simply 2 hydrogens are removed. That's why this process is called dehydrogenation. So 1-degree alcohol can give aldehyde. Let us take 2-degree alcohol. So 2-degree alcohol undergoes dehydrogenation to give ketone. If 3-degree alcohol is taken, CH3COH, CH3. This is 3-degree alcohol. When it is heated with copper at 300 degrees centigrade, dehydration takes place. OH comes from alpha carbon, H comes from beta carbon. The process is called dehydration. Remember, not dehydrogenation. Removal of H2O takes place, producing alkene as the product. So elimination takes place. So when 3-degree alcohols are subjected to reaction with copper at high temperature, dehydration takes place, forming alkene. Next, reactions of phenols. Reduction reaction, Reamer-Tiemann reaction, and Kolb's reaction. When phenol C6H5OH, when it is subjected to reduction by zinc dust, we can get benzene. This is one of the preparation methods for benzene. Reamer-Tiemann reaction. This is important one. When phenol is reacted with chloroform and potassium hydroxide aqueous and followed by acidification, CHO group is introduced at ortho position as well as at para position. But when CHO is introduced at ortho position, that is the major product. The product is called specially salicylaldehyde. This product is obtained. Formation of salicylaldehyde by the reaction of phenol with chloroform and potassium hydroxide. The byproducts are KCl and H2O. Kolb's reaction. Phenol, first it is reacted with sodium hydroxide. Neutralization takes place. We can get sodium phenoxide, a salt. After the formation of sodium phenoxide, this is reacted with carbon dioxide followed by acidification. Then we can get COOH at ortho position. So ortho hydroxybenzoic acid is obtained. That is nothing but salicylic acid. When salicylic acid is subjected to acylation, we can get aspirin. So this is very, very important to prepare medicinally useful compound aspirin. Next, ESR or EAS reactions of phenol. OH group attached to the benzene ring acts as strong electron donating group. That's why OH group is strong or ring deactivating group. It is very strong ring activating group. So it increases electron density at ortho and para positions by pushing electron pair onto the benzene ring, and it gets positive charge. That's why it is called plus R group. At the same time, OH acts as minus I group also, but we know resonance effect is stronger than inductive effect. That's why it acts as totally electron donating group, ring activating group. It increases electron density at ortho and para position. With this is very strong ring activating group. So at incoming electrophile attacks at ortho position or para position or at 3 positions it will attack. Example, bromination if you take. When phenol is reacted with bromine in the presence of polar solvent water, at a time 3 positions occupied by bromonium ions. So we can get a white precipitate of 2,4,6-tribromophenol. This is tribromination. When we want to get monobromophenol, so bromination is happened in the presence of non-polar solvent like CS2 or CCl4. Then bromonium ion attacks at ortho position or para position. We can get the mixture of two bromophenols. Same thing, when it is subjected to nitration with dilute HNO3, we can get orthonitrophenol as well as paranitrophenol. So both are separated by steam distillation. Orthonitrophenol, because of intramolecular hydrogen bonding, it is more volatile. So both can be separated by the steam distillation. If it is subjected to nitration by nitration mixture, we can get picric acid. At a time, 3 NO2 groups are attached at 2,4,6 positions. So we can get 2,4,6-trinitrophenol. This is also called picric acid. Some commercially important alcohols, methyl alcohol, it is also called wood spirit because it is obtained by the fermentation of wood. Methyl alcohol is toxic compound. When a person consumes methyl alcohol in large doses, it leads to death also. If it is in smaller amount, that leads to the damage of optic nerves. Methyl alcohol is a very dangerous one. Ethyl alcohol, this is also called spirit. In alcohol beverages it is present. Ethyl alcohol is also called grain alcohols because it is obtained by the fermentation of grains. Commercially, ethyl alcohol also prepared by the fermentation of molasses. So we know molasses as the mother liquor which is obtained after the separation of sugar crystals from sugarcane juice. It contains 40% sugar. So this molasses actually waste material subjected to fermentation in the presence of enzymes to get ethyl alcohol. So molasses containing sucrose, C12H22O11, when in the presence of invertase enzyme which is coming from yeast cells, in the presence of invertase, it undergoes hydrolysis producing glucose and fructose. Glucose undergoes oxidation in the presence of another enzyme gymase to give ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. This is the commercial method for the preparation of ethyl alcohol. Now coming to the last topic, ethers. Ether is considered alkoxy derivative of alkane. From alkane, when H is replaced with alkoxy group, we can get ethers. So based on the type of alkyl groups present, ethers are two types. Simple ethers, when two alkyl groups are identical. Mixed ethers, when two alkyl groups are different. So alkoxy alkane, IUPAC name. So you select the main carbon chain and the OR group is taken as substituent. Alkoxy alkane. So one example I will explain, CH3 O CH3 CH3. So there are two alkyl groups. You select one as major, one as main carbon chain. Carbon chain with 3 carbons is selected as major carbon chain, numbering 1, 2, 3. So other alkyl group along with oxygen is taken as substituent. Its name is methoxy. Methoxy is present at second position of the main carbon chain. So 2-methoxy propane is the IUPAC name. When we want to give the common name, you write the names of both alkyl groups. Isopropyl one side, methyl other side. Isopropyl methyl ether is the common name. Methods of preparation. During the dehydration of alcohols with concentrated H2SO4 at 140 degrees we can get. So when ethyl alcohol is subjected to dehydration with concentrated H2SO4 at 170 degrees, dehydration takes place from single molecule, providing alkene. If it is subjected to same dehydration by concentrated H2SO4, now temperature is 140 degrees centigrade. At that time, two molecules of ethyl alcohol together undergo dehydration. So, two molecules of ethyl alcohol are involved in the dehydration. From one molecule H is removed, from other molecule OH is removed. Both are removed as H2O. So, ethoxide and ethyl group both get combined, forming ether. Diethyl ether is obtained. Next one, Williamson synthesis, already we have discussed. This is very important method for the preparation of ethers. Alkoxide, when it is reacted with alkoxide on reaction with alkyl halide, it undergoes SN2 mechanism. Alkoxide through oxygen attacks at electrophilic carbon. This is an example for SN2 reaction, or O or ether is obtained. So in this mechanism, you have to remember alkoxide should be 1 degree or 2 degree. It should not be 3 degree. It should not be aryl halide. It should not be vinyl halide, because they do not undergo SN reactions easily. So the drawbacks of Williamson's ether synthesis: alkyl halide should not be 3 degree alkyl halide. It should not be aryl halide. It should not be vinyl halide. 3 degree can be taken as alkoxide. Alkoxide may be 3 degree alkoxide or anything, phenoxide or anything. Chemical reactions of ethers, especially we have to discuss about the cleavage due to CO. CH3O, CH3. Let us take dimethyl ether when it is subjected to reaction with dilute hydrogen iodide. One of the two CO bonds broken, H is taken by oxygen, iodine is taken by carbon. So CH3OH one side and CH3 iodide. We can get the mixture of alcohol and alkyl iodide. So instead of dilute hydrogen halide, if you take concentrated hydrogen halide, further reaction takes place. If excess of hydrogen iodide is taken, the formed alcohol also again converted into alkyl iodide. So remember, if dilute hydrogen halide is taken, we can get the mixture of alcohol and alkyl iodide. If you take concentrated or excess of hydrogen halide, we can get only alkyl halide. Cleavage. So this here, it may follow SN1 or SN2 mechanisms. If two types of alkyl groups are there, CH3O, CH2, CH3, it follows SN2 mechanism. So when hydrogen iodide is added, what happens? Iodide attacks at the carbon with less steric hindrance. It follows SN2 mechanism. So breaking of the CO bond takes place between smaller alkyl group and oxygen. So carbon of the smaller alkyl group takes halogen, forming alkyl halide, and oxygen of the bulkier alkyl group takes H, forming alcohol. So you remember, smaller alkyl group get converted into alkyl halide, other one will become alcohol. Suppose oxygen, if it is attached to 3 degree carbon present in alkyl group, if oxygen is attached to 3 degree carbon, it follows SN1 mechanism. 3 degree carbocation is formed. So after the formation of 3 degree carbocation, halide ion attacks at 3 degree carbocation. So cleavage of the CO bond takes place between oxygen and 3 degree carbon. So alkyl group with 3-degree carbon get converted into alkyl halide. Other one becomes alcohol. So tertiary butyl iodide is the product. So remember, if 3-degree carbon or benzylic carbon or allylic carbon. So any one of these 3 carbons is attached to oxygen, there only cleavage takes place. The alkyl group containing such type of carbon will be converted into alkyl halide. If you take anisole, this is anisole, the breaking of the CO bond present between phenyl and oxygen is impossible because that gets partial double bond character. So instead of that, other bond will be broken. If it is HBr, the CO bond of the phenyl group and oxygen will not be broken. Then CO bond of the methyl group and oxygen is preferable for the breaking. So phenol and methyl bromide is the product. Next, ESR, EAS reactions of anisole. Similar to phenol, the methoxy group, alkoxy group attached to benzene ring shows plus R effect as well as minus I effect. Since plus R effect is stronger than minus I effect, it acts as electron donating group, ring activating group, and then because of plus R effect it acts as ortho para directing group. If it is subjected to bromination in the presence of ferric bromide, what happens? Br plus may attack at ortho position sometimes, para position some other times. So ortho bromoanisole as well as para bromoanisole we can get. So monobromination takes place. Same nitration also. So just you go through the synopsis of all the chapters. I tried to explain the important concepts. I have explained very, very important concepts only. So children, if you want more clarity, go through the synopsis and try to solve the problems. Okay, with this I wanted to conclude the topic.